events. We've contracted with outside companies that specialize in those services, the deep cleaning and sanitizing, and certainly with our highly utilized areas of the facility, that'll be before and during the events. Places like our infield, race control, spotter stand, broadcast booth, those highly targeted areas. America deserves a return to live sports. And if we can do that safely and make that happen, that's our number one goal. So this begins to put some people back to work and gives all sports fans to look forward to and be excited about.
The next question, what about fans who have already purchased tickets to the event?
It's the bittersweet part of this. We're excited to be able to host racing, but we're going to miss all of those fans that aren't here. For ticket holders, we are offering 120% credit return for this season or next season to any Speedway Motorsports NASCAR race, or they can request a full refund. We would love to welcome everybody back here that's purchased tickets for our September race, the Bass Pro Shops NRA night race that'll be in the playoffs in September. Fingers crossed that we'll be able to allow fans back for that event, and they can use that extra credit that they have to bring a friend with them.
Next question, thoughts about fans not being able to attend?
Yeah. It is, like I said, it's bittersweet. We're disappointed that many of our fans that really make up the backbone of Bristol Motor Speedway, of who we are and what we are, aren't going to be able to be here. But we understand why the restrictions are in place, and we support that. With the limiting on public gatherings, it's a decision that's been made with, again, the overall health and safety of our general public in mind, and the competitors, employees, broadcast, everyone. Racing without fans is never something that we want to do. That's never our first choice, but these are certainly unprecedented times. We hope that the race fans are as excited as we are to see live racing back on TV.
The next question, can you go into specifics on the health safety plan for people on site? How will testing work to ensure safety?
Yeah, sure. I'm certainly not a medical expert, but I can speak to the parts of the plans I've seen. And what I can say is it's an extremely comprehensive plan. NASCAR has put in tremendous effort along with our company, Speedway Motorsports, and our security experts. The plan's really been developed with a lot of health experts and reviewed with state and local and federal officials. We'll execute that plan to the best of our ability on this property. So in accordance with CDC, OSHA, state and local government recommendations, we will obviously modify the events as they've been. Relaunching this season at tracks within driving distance has been NASCAR's first approach. So you look at the tracks that are within driving distance of North Carolina, where most of the shops are located. Hosting one-day shows, essentially, is what we're doing here. So there's no qualifying or practice sessions at first. Extremely limited on the number of staff that comes. It is to only essential personnel. So that's team staff members, officials, personnel here at the track, mandating the use of PPE. There are health screenings for every individual that will come on this property prior to entering the facility, and maintaining social distancing protocols throughout that. NASCAR has also indicated to us that they're going to be doing some health screenings potentially during the event, as well as exiting the event. But again, for sports fans around the world, it's exciting to be able to return to some sense of normalcy and see some live Major League sports on TV.
Next question, will fans be able to tailgate in your parking lots?
Unfortunately, no. We won't be able to allow anyone else on our property. That would require more personnel, and just we're not going to be able to do that at this time. With this new race plan in place, everyone that comes on our property is receiving a health screening. So our track is going to be used completely differently. We can't wait for the day, obviously, to welcome people back and to have that, but not at this time.
And when will you make a decision on whether to have fans at future events?
That, like a lot of things in this country right now, it remains fluid. NASCAR will continue to take a very measured approach at that, and we'll announce the future race dates and locations when appropriate. as well as fans can or cannot be in attendance. That's all remains fluid. Same with other events here at Bristol Motor Speedway that are not NASCAR events. You know, we'll continue to evaluate those things and make decisions to come.
We do have a few more questions from a few of the reporters, but we'll get to those in just a second. But just to switch gears a little bit here, we did have a few questions about this. In other local news today, Jerry, it was announced that BMS will be hosting some high school graduations coming up here in the next week.
Yeah, that's fun. You know, we say it all the time, this facility belongs to the community. And during these difficult times, I think all of us have thought about those folks that are graduating from high school or from college and how challenging that would be. So we're thrilled to be able to help out Virginia High and Sullivan East, Central, North, and South with their commencement ceremonies here at the Last Great Coliseum. We'll be doing those between Friday, May 22nd and Sunday, May the 24th. And so excited to be able to do that. Maybe that's something special for these seniors, and we hope we'll create some lasting memories for them. Those, something just to make sure folks are aware of, that those are taking place from vehicles, the graduation ceremonies will be, so that we can ensure social distancing and all the protective measures that need to be in place there.
All right, just a reminder to media, if you do have a question, you can send it to me through the group chat. We do have 5 more. The first one, how significant is it for NASCAR to be the first major sport returning to competition?
You know, it's great. I think it's extremely significant, but it also, as we've said, really comes with a lot of responsibility. I mean, we have to do it correctly, and we have to make sure that we are ensuring the safety of our communities, our competitors, and everyone here that is going to help put the event on. So that's got to be first and foremost in everything that we're doing. And that, as I've said, is mandated from the top, as it should be. But to be able to get back to some semblance of some normalcy, just to hear those rumbles on the track and to get those cars on the high banks is going to be a lot of fun. Just to see and be able to welcome people virtually into Bristol Motor Speedway to see some live racing.
Another question, how happy are you to know that there will be racing at Bristol before September?
Yeah, I mean, I think it will do a lot, not only for us here at Bristol Motor Speedway, just from a morale standpoint, but for the sport of NASCAR, to be able to get action on the track, to get live racing back on TV, again, to be one of the first major sports back on, I think is huge for our sport. And I think will allow some folks that, you know, maybe have not watched NASCAR races to be able to tune in. And we're excited about that.
Another question, have you been in contact with the race teams about procedures specific for Bristol?
You know, our company, we certainly have a lot. NASCAR has taken the lead on this, but there's been tremendous collaboration within our sport with race teams, with facilities, with networks, with health officials, again, from the federal, state, and local levels, and each one of those states and localities where NASCAR is going. I know there's been a tremendous amount of work. So yes, the race teams have been very involved in this process and speaking into when they felt it was safe for them to get back into the shops working, and then be able to transport their people to the facilities to put on these events. You know, these events are essentially going to be one-day shows. So these team members are going to have to come up from Charlotte, participate in the event, and then they're all heading back out to go back home down to Charlotte, and then come back in the next day following the Xfinity with Cup. It'll be great to be able to welcome them in.
Another question, how did NASCAR come to this May 31st date?
You know, it was a huge undertaking. And I applaud NASCAR for all the work they've done, again, with so many people involved in the sport, because they had to work with race teams, with the facilities, with the localities. I know just the number of meetings I was in relating just to Bristol. I can't imagine they were having to do that at every facility with state and local officials. So it was a tremendous amount of work, and I applaud NASCAR for that. And it really is this May 31 date, just as it fell out in the calendar. was what worked for them and for us and all the parties that were involved with it.
All right, we have one more here. What is your reaction to the race date, given all the work that needs to be done? Usually takes place over a few months. Now there's just a couple of weeks.
Yeah, well, it's certainly different. I mean, one, we're not going to be welcoming fans onto property, but we still are going to be welcoming a lot of the NASCAR community, and we take tremendous pride in our facility. So we want to make sure that it's top notch and everything looks great. We also have to take extra measures with cleaning and making sure that we have the protocols in place for the safety of the event. Thankfully, we were kind of already preparing for an event coming up in April. And we've also known for a few weeks that we were going to be coming soon. Didn't know the exact date that we were going to land, but we've been able to prepare knowing that hopefully racing would be coming soon.
All right, I think that's it. Again, for the media, if you do have additional questions after this call, give us a call and we will do our best to answer everything for you as they come in. Thank you so much for joining us here on this Zoom conference. First one that we've done for media. So we'll take notes from this, and moving forward, we'll figure out how we can use this technology better. Jerry, did you have any final thing you want to say?
I just want to thank all these media members. Thank you for the job you're doing, and appreciate you guys joining us today. Thank the community for the support they give for Bristol Motor Speedway. Know that we take the safety of our community and these participants very seriously, and we will do everything within our power to make sure that this event is handled in a very proper and safe manner. But that we're excited. We're so excited to be able to welcome NASCAR and racing back to the high banks, and look forward to what's going to take place out there May 30 and 31.
We do have one more. Just how happy are you to finally have a race date set for the Food City 500?
Yeah, I mean, we're extremely happy for a lot of reasons. To be the third facility to host a NASCAR race as we get back to racing, I think is great, and really goes to the tremendous cooperation that we received from the state of Tennessee, the county and the city. They asked the proper questions. They wanted to make sure that we were handling this in the right way. But once they understood the measures that were put in place, have all been tremendously supportive. So we're certainly excited to welcome folks back, and happy to have that May 30 and 31 date for the 60th running of the Food City 500.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. That'll end the call. Again, reach out to us if you have any additional questions or you need anything. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll look forward to having the race here on May the 31st, Food City 500. Thanks.
Thank you, guys.